Anyway, so we have here, there we go, better. We have a Khazarian empire that at one point went over, there we go, into the northern part of India. And we know this, that in spite of the formalities that said that the old Khazarian empire ended in this area here, we know it extended over as far as this boundary here, because there are persistent historical, not myths. They do have some aspects of legend, but they're inculcated into our expressions in all of our languages. So even in Chinese, so in China, there is this, the cultural work for the Chinese is called The Journey to the West. Really, it's a cool book. Jackie Chan's made several movies about the central characters in that book. All Westerners should read it if you want to understand the Chinese mind. It doesn't aid you understanding the CCP and those people, but it does aid you in understanding the cultural milieu in which China has arisen to the modern state here. Okay, but even in Journey to the West, there are aspects to this little story here. The Chinese had this phrase, this expression, that you had to watch out for the name stealers. We have that same expression arising from Europe in 800 AD. That was when it was written down in 800 AD. It was written down in Europe. Watch out for the name stealers, don't have anything to do with them, all of this kind of stuff. You're just going to get into trouble. And the name stealers here that are being referenced, and the name stealers referenced in China that goes back even further than that, 800 AD. Now, this was written down in 800 AD. They may have had it for 1,000 years before that as part of the heritage in the the Codex Oralinda. This is where I'm referencing it, right? But it's written down in other areas, in other literature. I think even Chaucer had a little bit of an allusion to it. But in any event, so it goes back some period of time. And these are the name stealers, okay? Because the Khazarians were this group. Now in China, they described it as if you go far enough west, you will run into these people that will invite you into their village as a traveler. They will feed you. You will have a nice drink. You have a great night. They put you in the best bed in the inn, and then they kill you. Okay? Then they kill you. They take all of your possessions and they steal your name. Now while you're having dinner with them and they're getting you drunk and stuff and they're drugging you up, they were known to really use drugs and be black magic kind of people, right? A lot of black magic is associated with the ability to know how certain drugs will affect the mind, etc., etc., and you can introduce them into food. So mostly a lot of magic per se is dealing with drug states for the mind. In that aside, the Chinese had the understanding that if you went there, they would get your story. They would steal your name and your story. And so the Khazarians were known by the Chinese, and so, but it was known on both sides. So if you were over here and you were going to try and do business with the Chinese and you went through there, you might run into one of these groups of the Khazarians that would kill you after learning everything they could about you. They would steal your story, then they would go to China, pretend to be you, make the deal, and then go back, and the deal never happened. So they're fucking both sides, really. That was the thing, right? These were truly evil people. Now, both sides of the trade equation understood that there were nasty people, and in the Codex Oralinda they're described as being to the east, and the Chinese are describing them as being to the west. Aha! Anyway, so here we are in our current war. All right, and so in our